Hi everyone, this is Patrick Gann representing OriginalSoundVersion.com, also representing 8BitX, and pretty much everything else that's awesome and related to video game music on the web. Hope you like my t-shirt here. We all listen to video game music, all of us that are cool. Today I wanted to present to you something special, and the idea came in from a reader at Original Sound Version to do a video review covering all the soundtracks released on the most recent indie game music bundle, the lowercase iGame music bundle. So we're going to talk about all 14 albums that are in the bundle in this span of time, and it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to try to keep it short. I hope you enjoy it. First up is Horn. Horn is a game from Zynga, which is like, what? Farmville, Mafia Wars, Facebook games? But it's not like that at all. It's sort of a mixture of like Eco meets Monster Hunter. It's a fun sort of action RPG kind of game. The soundtrack is done by Wintory, who did the soundtrack for Journey. It just has some beautiful music. There's some cool like ocarina, and in fact the top bidder at Game Music Bundle, which I think is currently Jin, is going to get that ocarina. Or it's some sort of flute or something. It's pretty rad. The song you're hearing right now is called Suddene. It's like Suddene with an E at the end. It's track 10. Absolutely beautiful, one of my favorite tracks on the album. This is a substantial album, lots of music on it, certainly worth the purchase. And if that doesn't get your attention, the next one will. Squids Wild West. It's the sequel to Squids, which is an RPG from the Game Bakers. It's a French development studio. Like the game before it, Squids Wild West has a soundtrack by Romain Gauthier. We have a review of the soundtrack up on OriginalSoundVersion.com, an in-depth review. This album is just so good. What you're hearing right now is track 16, The Lost and the Damned. It's the final battle music from the game. Easily Romain's best work yet. Easily, in my opinion, the best soundtrack on the bundle. Worth $10. Just this one album is worth $10, and for $10 you can get the whole 14 album bundle, so you just be crazy not to pick it up. Third, we have Puzzlejuice. Now, Puzzlejuice is a great puzzle game from Asher Vollmer. It's got a clever concept. It's about juice and juices. It's sort of in the same way that Blocks That Matter was about different blocks. But this is a great puzzle game. The music is by Jimmy Hinson, also known as BigGiantCircles. Just a couple of simple tracks and some outtake and bonus tracks. What you're hearing right now is Sipping Juice, and that's the casual level difficulty music. Really nice music. It's good electro pop. I like to listen to this one a lot. In the similar vein, but bigger and certainly more substantial, is the soundtrack to Globulus. We have a full text review of this up by Brenna Wilkes. This soundtrack was co-composed by Andrew Aversa, also known as Zircon, and the violinist and audio engineer Jeff Ball. They worked together on this one. Just based on the album cover, everyone says, and I myself said in one of our podcast episodes, this game looks like Tetrisphere, but it plays differently from Tetrisphere, which was a great N64 game. But yeah, it's a great Tetris-style game, and the music is just, it's like the magnum opus of electronica to me. It's totally genius. The track you're hearing right now is called Aurora Magnitude. It was worked on by both Jeff and Andrew. It's got this great East Asian ambient, Sibient fusion going on, and then now and then you hear Jeff on the violin, and the violin is just hot. It's beautiful. The fifth and final in the main bundle, the one that will only cost you $1, is Oregon Trail Director's Cut. Not Oregon, but Oregon Trail, which is a clever pun. And it's a clever and sort of groundbreaking game. It's groundbreaking while at the same time feeling retro. You got the Oregon Trail feel, plus the sort of zombie death stuff going on. 8-bit blood is the best blood. The soundtrack is by Ben Crossbones. I've never heard of him before. This music is really good. If you like Jim Guthrie's stuff, this is sort of similar. It's like instrumental rock band kind of music. What you're hearing is Cold Black Sky, track 12 from the album. It's, to me, very moody and very memorable. Now we're breaking into the bonus territory. All the albums from here you have to pay $10 to unlock. Aliens Incursion. That's not the 2006 crappy Aliens film, Aliens Incursion. It's just an indie game on iOS. It's basically an upgrade of Asteroids. I call it Asteroids on steroids. It's very fast-paced. The soundtrack is by El Mobo, Fred Mott from France. It's a short album, very short, but very enjoyable. And my favorite track on the album is the shortest track on the album, which you're hearing right now. It's called Capsule. It's only 40 seconds long. It's my favorite song on the album. Wiv and Keep. What to say about Wiv and Keep? This game has been through multiple iterations. The soundtrack has been through multiple iterations. The soundtrack still isn't available for retail release. You could have previously gotten it from an Indie Royale bundle. That version had 14 tracks. This version of the soundtrack has 19 tracks on the iGame music bundle. Wiv and Keep is a sort of cartoony action-adventure game. Pretty cool. Really like the art style, and I really love this soundtrack. The soundtrack's by a guy named Luke Thomas. It's a big project for him. There's lots of great synth orchestra stuff here going on. If you like Romain's work on Squids Wild West, you're going to like this too. You're hearing the Treasure Room music. It's track 9 and it's world 6 in the game. I love the auxiliary percussion, and is that Julian pipes I'm hearing? Really nice woodwinds. Next, Splice. The soundtrack for Splice gets its own album name called Flight of Angels. It's by Dane Saint. Dane Saint is a pianist by trade, and so the whole album, 7 tracks long, is just piano solo, very good stuff. The game is a puzzle game from Cypher Prime Studios. They do great stuff. I've played Auditorium and Fractal. I actually haven't gotten around to playing Splice yet, but I'm meaning to, and it looks great, and the music is just to die for. This piano solo stuff, it's like a neo-romantic, feels a little bit like Tori Amos, but obviously without the vocals. This is good stuff. What you're hearing is track 6, Dardail, which is the hardest of the 7 angel names in there, I think. I don't know why I torture myself. Next up is Polymer. This is one of 2 soundtracks on the bundle from Whitaker Blackall, who is now going by the name Whitaker Trebella. I don't know what's up with that. Whitaker, you're confusing me. You got a URL for Blackall, and then you're saying it's Trebella. I don't even want to know what your real last name is now. I just know that you're Whitaker and you make good music. The Polymer soundtrack has a sort of hollow synth pop sound going for it, especially in the title track, which is what we're hearing right now. Whitaker, this isn't just music he's made. He's done just music for games before, and we'll get to one later, but Polymer is actually a game that Whitaker made too. It's sort of a one-man studio kind of thing. It's a puzzle game, there's sliding, and there's color matching, and you make globs, and it's like polygons, but it's polymers. It's, I don't know, just watch the video. You're watching the video. You see what the game's about. And the music's good. iBlast Moki 2. The sequel to the original iBlast Moki, which I'd never heard of, but it's from developer Godzilla. It's, just looking at it, looks like a pretty cute and fun game, sort of in the vein of World of Goo, where you have to build, and then based on that building, you move units to get to where you need to go. But I think there's more variety in the building here than what you had in World of Goo, but then again, it's also less fluid, very structural. The music is from Romain Gauthier. This is his second of 3 albums on this bundle. Romain, I think this is his weakest of the 3 soundtracks, but that doesn't mean it's bad by any means. This soundtrack, it's not too long, not too short. It's fun, it's sort of inspirational, like adventurous. What you're hearing right now is Moki Pirate Land. That's track 2 on the album. Pretty good. Not my favorite, not my cup of tea. Super Hexagon. This is crazy. I love this. The game is designed to be quote-unquote minimalist action from the creator of VVV, that's Terry Kavanagh. Super hard, super fun, and super simple. And the soundtrack it's called an EP for a reason. It's only 3 tracks. It's like just a couple minutes long, and it's by Chipzel. Chipzel is, as far as I know, the only active female chiptunes composer out there. She makes incredible stuff, and this EP is just so good. What you're hearing right now is the 3rd and final track from the EP. It's called Focus, I believe. Yes, Focus, and just amazing. I love it. Alright, 3 more albums to go. Super Stick Golf is the other album from Whitaker Trebella / Blackall / whatever you want to call him. Great use of primitive synths on this soundtrack. This is one of his older works. It's even older than Cardinal Quest, I think. But there's some hardware emulation going on, some straight chiptunes, and then there's some more just old school warbly lead synths and pad synths. Really cool. What you're hearing right now is track 7 from the album. It's called Mars. It's my favorite track on the album. Golf never sounded so good. Also, what's up with Super Stick versus Super Stick Man Golf? If you're gonna rename the game or the soundtrack, you know, let's get some new album art. But whatever, that's a minor complaint. Contingency. This is a bonus unlock. It has nothing to do with iOS games. This is a collection of unused and prototype music from Jimmy Hinson, also known as BigGiantCircles, who does have the Puzzlejuice soundtrack I mentioned earlier. So this is more work from him. It includes some tracks that he wrote for Mass Effect 2 that didn't get used, and then just a whole bunch of other music written between the years of 2007 up to 2010. You're hearing track 5, Unsettled, which is one of the better tracks on the album, but there's a lot of great stuff here. Just a lot of good electronic music. It's free. I don't think you have to pay 10 bucks for this one. What you do have to do to unlock it is you have to auto send some Twitter message, which I've been spamming Twitter with news of this bundle and the extension. So you totally want to get in on this, guys, before it's too late. And the last one, as of my recording and editing this video, it still hasn't been unlocked, but I think it's going to be unlocked before the bundle is over. It's the 3rd album from Romain Gauthier, so he's the one dominating this bundle. And it is the soundtrack for a little game called Happy Street. And you see I turned my paper because I ran out of space for my notes. Happy Street is a city builder game in the vein of Tiny Towers. This game's a little bigger and a little better than Tiny Towers. It's got a lot of mini games in it, a lot of content, a very bright, very colorful game. And Romain matches that bright, colorful atmosphere with his own soundscape. There's only 4 tracks on the album, plus a little blip at the end called "bah!" And it's the sound of a bird making that noise. What you're hearing right now is the 4th track on the album. It's called Sleepy Street. So you have like Happy Street, and then Main Street, and Party Street, and then Sleepy Street. And Sleepy Street's my favorite. It's obviously the most calm and quiet and relaxing. But there's good music here. It's short. You can buy it separately for $1 on Bandcamp if you're not going to spend 10 bucks to do the unlock. But again, I think that you're a total tool if you don't get it on this bundle. You're supporting a bunch of great musicians who are just trying really hard to break out in the scene, and I think a lot of them deserve success, more success than they've seen, with the exception of maybe Austin, who's seen a lot of success, but let's not let him be a one-hit wonder. He's doing more good work. So let's support these guys. Pick up the bundle if you haven't. As you've heard in the video, there's a lot of great music here. So go ahead and pick it up. And Sleepy Street, what a good song to end on. It is late here, and I think it's time for me to go to bed. So good night and good luck. Buy the bundle.